Hello, and welcome to the ThriveCast interview series. I'm your host, Lisa Kember, and I'm joined today by Abdo Mazloum from WebTmize in Montreal. Abdo, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Glad you're here. I wondered if you could kick us off, first of all, by talking a little bit about WebTmize and what you do in this agency and a little bit about how you came to be.
Yeah. So, WebTmize digital marketing agency, been my focus the past 6 years. The idea came after working for 10 years for six different companies, some in-house and some agencies as well. And after 10 years experience in the field, I was like, okay, I feel like I've learned enough. And you realize after that you haven't, but
True.
it was a good enough experience to go on my own and start something, make something from nothing. And it started in a small apartment, actually in an extra bedroom in my apartment. And within 6 months, we had enough clients to rent an office and grow. We were
Awesome.
five people, so. But
Awesome.
mainly we focus on paid search, display, programmatic, SEO, email marketing. And for the past 2 years, we're doing more into data science. We find that like this is a good differentiator because you need the expertise and be technical enough, to do some great projects with bigger clients that have heaps of data, you know,
Hmm.
and they see a
Hmm.
lot of value of this, like automating reports and extracting data from multiple platforms, merging it into a data warehouse, and then visualizing it on a tool like Tableau or Looker Studio or
Yes. Yeah.
whatever. And we do some web development as well to support some of our smaller clients. We don't take big projects when it comes to web development, but we take some, smaller Shopify sites, WordPress.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you're in a hub in Canada, of technology and creativity, so you're perfectly located. Where are your team? Are they in your office? Are they a mix of hybrid? How does the team work?
Uh, Most of our team is in Montreal, actually.
Hmm.
Um,
Awesome.
During the pandemic, obviously, we started the business before the pandemic and after the pandemic. Most people working from home. We had a smaller office. And since end of the summer, or let's say the fall 2023, we've asked people to come once a week, so hybrid, and we're planning to take it up to twice a week.
Yeah.
We find the connection of people makes a difference. We have someone in Toronto. We hired him during the pandemic.
Hmm.
He manages our sales. He does a good job there. We're not going
Awesome.
to ask him to come in. He's in Toronto. But the plan
Hmm.
is to hire more people locally, just to
Hmm.
support the local community as much as we can and have people, connect and exchange ideas. And we find there's a lot of creativity that happens when people are in the office.
For
And
sure.
having also the flexibility to work from home, we thought about 8 times a month, twice a week. It's still not in effect, but that's the plan.
Hmm. Well, I do think it's important. Well, let's say it's easier as your team gets larger to maintain culture if
Hmm.
you're together more often, right?
Yeah,
Although I do think flexibility is a great thing too.
100%.
Um, so you've grown really quickly, 6 years in, and a good sized group.
Yeah, we're
How,
25 people.
what has been the secret to that growth?
Um, I'd say three main things to help grow a business. I learned it from, I read books, podcasts,
Hmm. Hmm.
audiobooks. Three main things for scale in the book of scaling up. You focus on the people first.
Hmm.
You help develop leaders and help them grow. You can't do everything yourself.
Hmm.
You put your trust in people. You invest your time in them, training them, and
Hmm.
getting them up to speed, and
True.
and then like they can manage other people as well. Uh, and the next thing would be processes, systems in place, having the proper systems
For
and
sure.
SOPs. When you have an issue, you fall back on that SOP, and you try to make corrections. And the last one is marketing. As a marketing agency, at first we weren't really marketing ourselves. We had a reputation, word of mouth, that was the way. And you hit a point where, you've maximized the reach within your network and you need to do more.
Hmm.
Hence why we hired Chris, who's in Toronto, to start. Well, he actually started as an account manager and then worked his way to become a sales manager. Uh,
Awesome.
and he's actually, trying to seek for more leads and more opportunities through his network and his friends' network, and applying for some RFPs and um, you know, the general marketing. All marketing is good marketing, I'd say.
Right, doing the
Yeah.
business development piece. I think often as marketing agencies, a lot of marketing agencies put their own marketing to the back burner sometimes.
Yeah.
And that is a recipe for limited growth, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so had you managed a team of this size before, and what have been the interesting parts of growing to this size?
I have not. No, I think the largest team, we were 11 at the last agency when I quit my job in 2018, beginning of the year. Uh, so yeah, getting to 25 people, it's a different dynamic. I don't think we're big to lose culture. We still have a good culture, I think, and that's
Mm-hmm.
been really a focus for ours, really
Mm-hmm.
working on that. Um, I don't know if we're bigger, if we'd lose that element. Of course, you're always going to have some issues that you need to resolve. There's always going to be the minority where, people may don't align with your values and may not be performing. The goal is to always work with them, coach them, mentor them,
Mm-hmm.
and help them get aligned, have alignment between our vision and them. And in some cases, it may not work out. We've had some people quit on their own, or we have
Right.
to make choices. But yeah, definitely culture is very important, and we hope to maintain it as we continue to scale.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
do you have partners in the business, or is there a management team? How do you manage a team that size and run the agency?
Yeah. So at first, I was a full owner of the agency.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, actually, last year, we did the paperwork. So two team members who've been with us since the beginning are actually owners of the company as well. And we
Oh,
plan
okay,
to
smart
extend it.
move.
Yeah, I plan to extend it to other people as well. You know, uh,
Mm-hmm.
the vision is somewhere between 10 and 15 people can actually be owners of the company.
Mm.
We find it's incentivizing. People will have sense of ownership.
Mm-hmm.
They're actual owners, so they're entitled to financial statements, to dividends at the end of the year if there's profit. And yeah, I think that's the idea. And there's a plan. So other people are lined up to become partners because they have to be 5 years full-time employed with the company,
Yes.
and they have to be managing other people. And that's been the vision of making people owners within the company.
So has that added stress or relieved stress as you've developed this employee share
Uh,
model?
well, there's always stress in the process, right? Like, you're working with lawyers to get the paperwork done and
Yes.
ensure it's worded well, and there's costs involved to this. But it's still very recent. As I said, it's been less than a
Mm-hmm.
year. We're coming up to our end of year soon. So that's when we'll revise the financial statement as partners together and
Mm-hmm.
see, how that looks like, and then distribution of profits. We'll see. Like it's a work in progress, but I hope it should be less stress. They act like owners. The two people, they
Yeah,
definitely act as owners, yeah, I think there's always going to be stress because there's many things involved. But of course, having people who are supportive, who are really aligned on the vision and working towards a goal, obviously the goal is to continue to grow, hire the right people, train the right
right.
people, scale and continue. The most importantly is we continue to have fun. That's the idea. Continue to enjoy what we do, and be passionate about what we do.
For
That's
sure.
kind of the objective. Yeah.
Um, I would think having people focused on the bottom line along with you is a good thing. Are they I'm going to ask this just from a structure point of view. Are you having them buy in? Are they earning in? How's it working?
Uh, Actually, no, they didn't have to buy in.
Hmm.
So they
This
got
was part of a
shares.
retention strategy,
Yeah,
a growth strategy. Smart, very
yeah,
smart.
yeah,
So what's been the biggest surprise for you? You said you'd gone 10 years, six companies. You thought you were really ready for this.
yeah. Uh, some of the surprises, would say is out of our control. Um, I'd say it's one of the hardest things is people management, right? Like
Hmm.
you may have some people that don't align on the vision, on the way you do things, and
Hmm.
they do things a certain way, and it's tough. And then we try to find solutions. We actually work with a leadership coach. We've been working with him
Awesome.
for 3 years, and
Good.
he helps a lot. And every year for the past 3 years, we do our like annual retreat. We do it in we did twice in Mexico, once in Dominican Republic. So he comes
Hmm.
in, he does some of the workshops or pretty much all the workshops.
Perfect.
We help out. Um, and try to get the message across, about what we're about, what are the values, and what we're trying to do.
Perfect.
Um, you know, that's been very helpful. But yeah, so some of the surprises, like some people behave in a certain manner, and you can't control that, right? Like you do your
It's
best.
true. It's
So like,
true.
uh,
Apparently, not everyone's cut from the same cloth, apparently.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And with clients as well, like yeah, the clients would tell you one thing and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna pay you. And then three
Mm,
months later, you're chasing after them and then you have to send them to collections or hire a lawyer.
hmm.
Um,
Just all of the general business problems that you don't expect when you're
yeah,
not an owner.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So thinking of clients and managing accounts,
yeah.
how do you make sure or how do you retain clients? How do you what are your parameters for, making sure the clients you go after are aligned and that you can retain them over the long run?
Um, we have some of the clients that have been with us since the beginning, which is great. Some of them even left and came back. They try agencies because there's an
Good.
abundance of agencies out there.
Yes, of course.
Competition is high. I mean, specifically in Montreal, there's so many like Google partners, so many Meta partners, and so it's easy for them to move around.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I think we've been fortunate to have some clients that have been with us for a long time. They go and come back, and I mean, the secret sauce is just make sure you do good work and uh, and do what you actually say. Like
Hmm.
what's the delta between what you say and what you do,
Hmm.
and making sure you're accountable. You make a mistake, take ownership of that mistake, and try to find a solution for that mistake and share it and be transparent. This helps. There's no point of hiding anything from a client. If you try to hide, the client will find out at some
It's
point.
true.
You
True
know,
enough. Hmm.
and your reputation is your main currency, right? If you don't have a good reputation, you lose everything. So
Hmm. So you're working today to make sure you have those same clients 20 years from now, hopefully, or at
yeah,
least some base of them.
yes, yeah.
What do you think is the biggest challenge facing agencies right now?
Right now, specifically, it's a special economy. Like I think coming out of the pandemic, with the interest rates are high, you know, it's very interesting how things fluctuate. Up to a certain point, I think about 2 years ago, there was a boom of hiring. Specifically in Montreal, we lost 3 people to like a bigger agency.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, couldn't find
within
people. Hmm.
yeah, yeah, like within 2 or 3 months, I think 3 people left us to go to another bigger agency. It happens.
Hmm.
Um, but we come out stronger of this. It's definitely a blow. You got a jab to the face, and then
Yeah.
okay, you stand up, and then you say, okay, how I'm gonna get through this. You find solutions. You hire other people, Uh, and you train these people, and it's like new blood. And then, you obviously have to step up your game at that point and make it work. But more recently now, like we see, we're getting more CVs, more quality CVs. We're getting, you know, people with more experience. It's surprising
Yep.
the fluctuation, of how the economy is behaving and the market is behaving as well. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
that is definitely an impact on agencies and every business to some extent.
yeah,
Yeah. So you've got a busy life. You're running a firm, you've got three little kids at home.
yeah.
Um, what are some of the personal habits you have to keep you in top form as a leader of your firm?
Very good question. I think consistency and discipline, having a discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Um, trying to sleep as much as you can. Try to get minimum 7 hours of sleep every night.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if you
That has
can
to
go
be
to bed,
challenging some
yeah,
days.
yes, yeah. If you can get up to sleep at 10 p.m. the latest. I try to get to sleep at like 10 p.m. Wake up around 5, 6,
Mm-hmm.
depending.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, Taking care of your health, eating well, eating,
Yeah.
drinking properly as well.
Yeah.
Um, and then working out, I try to find 2 to 3 times a week where I do either a yoga class or Taekwondo, martial arts. I've
Mm-hmm.
been doing this for 20 years. Try to jog some time to time. I did a marathon at some point. Then I hurt
Wow.
myself, so I
Awesome.
stopped. So slowly trying to get back into it. But obviously, yeah, taking care of your physical health, healthy body, healthy mind. It's very
For
important.
sure.
Um, and then your mental, right? Like when you're having issues, get the right coaching, seek the right
Mm-hmm.
friends who support you. And you're spiritual, like
For
if you have
sure.
faith, whatever it is, just think of what you believe in and
Mm-hmm.
try spiritual things, and obviously, be close to the people you love and you care about. It's three
Yes.
things I learned as well from the book, putting your oxygen mask first. They talk about
Mm.
mental, the
Mm-hmm.
spiritual, and the physical,
Mm-hmm.
taking care of those three things.
I've often said the journey of building an agency is a spiritual journey. Like you have to be willing to let go and let the universe or God or whatever you believe, but something bigger than yourself handle it. Because it
100%.
is a high pressure kind of growth journey.
Yep.
So when you look back
Mhm.
to those early days when you started 6 years ago, if you were going back there to talk to Abdo, the new entrepreneur,
Mhm.
what is the advice you would give now that you're 6 years in?
Ah, mm, uh, I would say, well, first, before starting a business, make sure you have enough financial security to
Mm-hmm.
support for a year. It could be 6 months, it could be a year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that's important. You don't want to put a lot of stress, especially if you have a family. At the time I had one kid. He was 1 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely stressful for the family.
For
Uh,
sure.
but my wife was always very supportive.
Good.
So uh, yeah, making sure that you have that financial security, you have the patience, you have the discipline, you know, to start a new journey. It could be great and it could be sour, and sometimes you may feel in moments, why am I doing this? You may have those negative feelings or questions, and you're going in your mind, why am I doing this? Is this the right thing?
Yes.
Maybe I should have never quit my job.
Yeah.
Uh, is is be open, get coaching as well. I think
Yes.
that it's very important to have someone who may have done it before, who has the experience to support you and
For
really
sure.
help you through that journey. I'd say this would be one of the advice I would give, or some of the advices I give. Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Abdo. This was a great insight and great feedback and thoughts about building your agency and some good advice for some of our members at the Thriving Agency. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you taking the time. And to those of you checking in, thanks for listening, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Awesome. Thank you.